I did it again. I did that same thing last week. Oh gosh. Hello there. Welcome to A Certain Point of View. I am Michael. We got Jessica, and we got Drew also. What's up, y'all?
I'm back.
I'm back. Amazing.
I'm
Y'all, I
I'm
missed y'all so
halfway
much. No, Drew, you're back.
I'm halfway back.
You're back. Oh man, you
Just
guys,
halfway.
we had some serious uh technical issues, technical difficulties trying to get this stream up and running, but I think we're good. So, um
We had to become one with the force.
we had to become one with the force to celebrate May the 4th today. We had to become one with the 4th. Oh my gosh. Well, and Josh is going to be joining us. I believe he just texted. He's going to be joining us, if only for a little bit, because he's just got done putting the kids down and he is exhausted. But he is going to be hopping in momentarily, I believe. So, man, okay, everybody, happy 4th of Star Wars Day.
4th of May.
Happy May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. Um, Jess, let's start with you. What did you do for Star Wars Day today?
Um, so I got some new Star Wars teas in the mail yesterday, and I waited to open them up till today to make it like
Nice.
feel special. And I actually have an autographed book that is which one is it? And I still haven't, and I was gonna open it today too as like a surprise, not a surprise, but like yay, Star Wars Day. But um, I forgot to do that. But I did watch the not the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett documentary, and
Yeah.
then I watched 3 Clone Wars episodes. So I'm a little extra scattered tonight. So words are not my friend.
No, I am the scattered one. That trying to get this going tonight was absolutely mayhem. And so I am 100% super frazzled right now. So,
Okay, so it's the new E.K. Johnson book that is the new Padme book.
yeah.
So I pre-ordered a long time ago a signed copy, and I got it in, and I have yet to open it because
Yeah.
it's so special.
Oh, that's awesome. And have you read the other ones?
I haven't. I was waiting for all 3.
You're hoarding books.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
I've
have
done the
so
same
many
thing
books
back
I
here.
need to read.
I've
Anyway.
done the same thing back here. I'm just waiting for the perfect time, the rainy day.
Yeah, so Star Wars book that I still need to open. Hey, it's after we're done with this, it's still May the 4th. I might open it, and it's a new Adelaide's Fort T-shirt, so I can't go wrong.
What you don't know is that we are going to be streaming until 1 o'clock in the morning.
It could be. Josh might come on and have all the energy in the world. So
That would be awesome if he could just bring some energy. We're all just like, Drew, did you do anything for Star Wars Day?
First off, can we hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I
Mhm.
hear you. You're good.
Okay, both of you still sound like Transformers half the time, but I can piece together the sentences through context.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
I worked. Um, I bought the Lego Star Wars game.
Nice.
And I'm gonna start playing through that maybe tomorrow. We'll see. And what else did I do? Oh, Holly bought a Clone Wars puzzle because she loves puzzles, and she just started watching the Clone Wars with me. And I found this little Boba Fett keychain.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so itty
I
bitty.
love that, dude.
And I have lost enough pounds to wear this awesome new. I've lost enough weight to wear this awesome Clone Wars shirt. It's called Camino Rhapsody, so it's got Captain Rex and some of the others doing the
Love
Bohemian
it.
Rhapsody pose up there. So
Dude,
yeah,
that's
it
so
feels good to be
awesome.
wearing that.
That's
So
amazing.
no, it was a. And then I think after we end the live stream, might watch either maybe that making of Book of Boba Fett or some Clone Wars episodes. So we'll
It's
see
so good. You
how
should
much
watch
energy I
it.
have.
It was
Yes.
really good. It was really good. It was there was a few things like there there was one time Robert Rodriguez was talking. By the way, I was very critical of his episodes in particular of the show, but watching this documentary, I'm like, look, he's not my cup of tea as a director, but I want to be that guy's friend. I want to
Yeah.
sit down and talk about movies and play music with that guy. That looks like so much fun.
It's
Such
a
a cool
little
dude.
Batman. And know that you
But
got a
I
Batman
can't wait to
keychain
watch
too.
that because yes, sorry, I had to mess with y'all there.
Distractions.
I want
I
to
just
watch
watched
that
the
so I
Batman
can learn
like
more
right
about.
before this.
That was a squirrel moment, but I'm so excited to watch that because of hearing Robert gets his thoughts. Sorry.
yeah, that's okay. That's good. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. The stuff with Luke was really interesting. Um, seeing that Mark Hamill was actually like on the, you'll see this, Drew. Seeing that Mark Hamill was actually on the set and doing some of the acting, the really interesting technology they were using. Still didn't change my mind on it, but I need an actor. Like I need an actor with who is speaking and who is also, you know, I need a real person 100% being Luke. I'm not enjoying this strange almost almost Mark Hamill Luke. It's really weird to me. This kind of AI formed Luke. Um, I need an actor to do it, but I did find the technology stuff very interesting, and seeing Mark Hamill standing. There's like a part of it that shows Mark Hamill standing with Ahsoka, and like it really did my heart a lot of good. So that was really cool.
I liked how they were kind of showing and explaining more of their vision for the show, and I think that helped me understand some of the episodes more and the choices that they made, knowing that they intentionally, I think, in some of them wanted it to just be character building and not a lot of action. I think now I kind of see that intentionality when I think about some of the episodes that I was like, I don't know. And so I kind of see a little bit more, I think, what they were trying to get at.
Yeah, and I also found it pretty funny. There was one point that I there was one point where um where Robert Rodriguez was talking, and he was like, we just wanted to make sure that, you know, the action in the first episode lived up to episode 6 of The Mandalorian in season 2." And I was like, well, sorry, bud, but that it didn't. That was specifically one of my criticisms of the episode. It didn't quite. It wasn't remotely as cool as that one episode of The Mandalorian that he got to direct. And so I was like, man, I wish your vision for it could have. Maybe it did. Maybe it did completely. Maybe his vision is what happened. But what he was saying in that interview did not come across to me personally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I loved seeing them talk about like the the character stuff for Boba, and yeah, seeing John talk about like characters and how like I remember I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something about how, you know, you can have a character like really, you could have a really cool character and like they're just awesome, but that only goes so far. That only gets you so far. And so they wanted to take Boba Fett down this path where he gets a family, like he's a part of a tribe, and he grows stronger in that way. And I even as a critic of the show, as you know, as someone who wasn't a fan of everything they did, even though I really liked some of it, I also really didn't like some of it. I really did love the direction that they took the character of Boba Fett, and I loved that. Um, Gosh, the episode 2 of the show with the train sequence and the drugs lizard, that you know, that vision, and that was such a great episode for Boba Fett and his character. And you know, they spent time in that episode in this documentary too, which I really liked to hear from Steph Green. That was cool.
And I
'Cause I didn't know what
loved
she looked like.
him so much.
I know. I want to be his friend.
I know. I see like all of the videos and stuff from him at different cons, and he just seems like the coolest person ever.
I know. He really does.
Yeah, and I love how he like relates everything back to like his heritage and everything. It's just really cool.
Yeah. And they let some of that inform character decisions for Boba too,
Yeah.
which was really
love it.
fascinating. I really do love that stuff. Honestly, with the show, it really is for me just a matter of execution on certain things. Like there's some stylistic choices I didn't care for. Story structure wise, it was really weird. I think a lot of people will agree with that. Even if you really like what happened, you still think, yeah, it was weird though. The structure of the story.
One of the things that when I watched it, I feel like we're giving everything away for Drew because he hasn't watched it, but he's seen the show, so it's not like giving.
Yeah, we're really just talking about the show.
One of the things I think it was that Dave said was that, you know, he was like, oh, everyone's going to be wondering, like, what's going on with the Mandalorian? What's going on with Grogu? And I was like,
no, we won't.
Actually,
no, we won't.
I wasn't. So I feel like they almost thought like the fans wanted that. And so they put it in there to kind of keep people up to date on that storyline. But it's just interesting because, like, for me, I think it was cool, like him joining, but I just wish there was less of the Mandalorian in this and it was more Boba Fett. And I know that I said that while the show was coming out was one of my biggest things. And I know people were talking about how it's like a book and a chapter, and sometimes you go to other characters and things like that.
I did that, but
yeah. But it's like it's one of those things where, and I love books like that. There are some books that I've read that I love that are each chapter is a character, a different character's perspective, or, you know, continuation of the story. But since the Mandalorian's character wasn't developed in the Book of Boba Fett, I think that's what made it a little like off. Like if they did more for Finnick, like on her own, like that would make more sense to me as like a side story. But I mean, I'm not going to complain. It was great Star Wars content. It just seemed weirdly placed, I guess. And I guess they did it because they felt like maybe they needed to, but maybe they didn't, and it could have just been standalone about Boba Fett. So
yeah, I found it kind of weird too. It was like I found it really funny when he said that, because I was like, no, Dave, we weren't wondering that at all. We were like eagerly awaiting season 3, but that's it.
yeah.
And so seeing him say that, and then John said
maybe
something.
He was just so excited he had to, like, I don't know.
I don't know, but like, you know, I did evolve my stance on the show as the show went on. I was, after that one Mandalorian episode, that first one, I was like, okay, that was when I was saying, yeah, some books do that. They come back to the main character after they take a diversion, and then it's important later, which it was important later. But I do feel like on the back half of the show, it became way more Mando-centric than Boba-centric, which was the problem. Like,
and I felt it even in the documentary.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, they were talking about Boba Fett, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, Luke, Ahsoka, Grogu, Mandalorian, you know, which is like...
It was exactly what happened in the show.
Yeah.
And so, like, I did have to, at some point near the end of the show, I was like, okay, I'm viewing this now as just a Star Wars story. I have problems with it being called something and it not actually living up to that, but I am also able to be like, okay, but like, just take a step back and look at this as this is just Star Wars and it's happening. It's better. Like it because I liked all of the Mandalorian stuff and all of the Luke stuff and even the finale of the show. I really liked it. Did tie it together. But it was weirdly structured.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. The thing, too, that I keep thinking is we don't know who the author of the Book of Boba Fett is. if they're doing it like a book. So if this story is coming from Boba Fett retelling his story to, let's say, the Mandalorian, then it would make sense for him to put some of his perspectives in it, or what he was doing during that time. So I think it also, there was an intentionality for it to be called the Book of Boba Fett, and so it could have to do with who the author of this retelling of the story is, and we might not know that until the end of whenever they're finished with everything. I mean, it could be Grogu for all we know retelling this, and not Boba Fett telling his story himself. It could be someone else sharing it with someone. So I think it fits in the bigger picture of them doing more about Mandalore and expanding that lore and telling more of the history of them, which they kind of hinted to in the documentary as well. But I don't know. I found it so interesting, and it really made me want to watch it again. Like the Book of Boba Fett, not the. I mean, I'd watch the documentary again, but.
Honestly, me too. I do want to watch the show
I
again.
might watch it.
Yeah, Drew, what so obviously you haven't gotten to watch the documentary yet, but looking back a few months away from the Book of Boba Fett finishing, how are you feeling about the show now in retrospect?
Okay, I had to wait and process that in my ears here.
Yeah, there's a long delay
because the Transformer speech. That's okay, but I think I can hear me now.
Drew's in
the
nowhere,
show is aged
Arkansas.
just fine for me. I'm where? Yeah, I'm in the middle
In
of
nowhere,
nowhere.
Arkansas.
Bald knob. Woo-hoo.
You're right. That pretty much is nowhere.
I think. Yeah. Nice. I understood that reference. I think it's aged very well for me. My few criticisms are still there, albeit minor. I've not went back and rewatched it, but I've really been planning on it. But I got Holly into watching the Clone Wars with me, so I'm gonna ride that train out for right now and enjoy that story all over again. Because I'm watching it. We watched episodes 1 and 2 over the past month, and I said, I really wonder if we can manage to watch all the Clone Wars and then episode 3 and go from there. And if I can do that, then I'll watch Book of Boba Fett after Return of the Jedi. And I think it would just fit perfectly. Y'all did hammer one issues that I came around to in the show, and that was the big the Mandalorian episode didn't bug me as much in hindsight, after the fact, but the Grogu involvement and that storyline being accelerated in the finale still does bug me a little bit, but not to the point where, it makes me an angry fan or something like that, because I still really enjoy the story that they told. And I think there's, more seasons to come and more stories to be told, with Boba Fett and beyond. So I really like it. I might watch the making of, because I love making of stuff. I might watch that tonight instead of Clone Wars, actually. Because I'm a sucker for that behind the scenes type stuff, especially the ones that Disney's been doing on Plus for like WandaVision and Loki and The Mandalorian and stuff like that. The one they did for Mando season 1 was probably the best, because they devoted an episode to each individual facet. It was like, here's the animation, here's the score, here's the directors, here's the storyline, here's the history. That if they follow that same format, I would like that. But instead now it's like you get like an hour and a half just whole thing for a show. It's weird. Michael is frozen in a halfway small thumbs up right now on my screen, and it is like the most incredible thing ever.
Yeah, Drew's internet is pretty iffy at best right now.
I mean, it's 5G, and I'm doing a
it.
hotspot off my phone. That usually works pretty well. Hold on, I don't know how to screenshot a new computer. Oh, you're already back to life, and now there's a dog. No, but
hey, dog.
Like I said, with the show and how it ended, I think it was. I mean, Michael, you're a good case study for this, because you weren't a guy that said, "Oh yeah, Book of Boba Fett, I would love to see that," and then they announced it, and you were like, "Okay, I'm going to trust and see where they go with this." And I think after the fact, you've really enjoyed the story, especially now after further watches, it seems like you've come around even more to it. Not that you never were around it, but you've really circled the wagons on it good now. So I love seeing that. I mean, obviously, I've got a little Boba Fett legacy going on here somewhat. That's his brother's, technically, I guess, if you want to be that way about it. But no,
Yeah.
I enjoy the show. I wonder where we go from there, but I can't wait to watch that documentary.
Yeah, it's hard for me to be fully in on, like, I did actually really love certain aspects of the Book of Boba Fett. I did grow to really enjoy the overall story that was being told, but I can't get over, I haven't gotten past Grogu's, Grogu being off with Luke, coming to a close that quickly. I have not gotten past that. I am still needing to see what comes next for that. I am definitely kind of I'm skeptical. I feel like it ended too quickly. I wanted to see more of Din being off on his own, wrestling like he did in that one episode. I loved that one episode where he was on his own, like trying to like work through things, but they only did that for one episode.
I think we'll get that in the actual
two
Mandalorian.
episodes, I guess. But he's with season. Grogu's back with him.
I think it's gonna go back prior to that time. I really do.
Do you really?
Think, yeah, I think it's gonna like be prior to that, and then this kind of like, I feel like this was like a blip in the story. Like, I don't know. I think the Mandalorian will fill in the gap between.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, that would make this even weirder of a structure. What a strange way to tell a story.
So the theory that Jessica is proposing here is that the events of Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett Season 1, take place between The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4, and that Mandalorian Season 3 is going to be before the Book of Boba Fett?
No, not necessarily before, but I think this story maybe happens during the season. And so I think because The Mandalorian, I mean, it does seem kind of odd, but because The Mandalorian's its own show, I just assume that they're going to like go up to that, and then we'll see a little bit of interaction between him and Boba to like unite the stories, and then from the Book of Boba Fett, and then he'll continue on with his story until it intertwines again, I feel like.
Yeah, but I don't think that the stuff that happened in the Book of Boba Fett, I don't think that that's in the future and they're going to go backward for The Mandalorian Season 3. I don't think that, because I seem to remember in the Book of Boba Fett, there's just
too much time in between Season 2 and then this that I feel like there's so much that they need to cover.
What makes you think there's a lot of time? What makes you think there's been a lot of time between seasons? Because I remember some things happen. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I could have swore I remembered some things happening.
To me, it just seems like I am assuming that Luke has had Grogu for a while. And that
he was covering basic things with him.
Like, yeah, but the fact that he's giving him to make him that choice at that point, like, I don't know. I feel like we need the interaction of Luke and Ahsoka first meeting. I mean, they have to give us that. And that will be technically in the past because they've already met at this point. So that's why I'm thinking they're going to fill in some of the story, because maybe it's in Ahsoka, I don't know. But in one of them, I feel like they'll fill in the story because we have to know how all of that kind of came together.
I kind of feel like they're going to do the Luke and Ahsoka thing in Ahsoka. I feel like that makes more sense.
Maybe.
Personally. Drew, is that what you were going to say?
Well, kind of. You know my Ahsoka theory with all this.
I don't remember.
Not theory, but
tell us
something
all.
I'd like to see happen is that Grogu. I think it would be an incredible character moment for Mando, Din, whatever we're calling him nowadays. The same thing. He could see, wow, Grogu has grown so much in his short time with Luke. I'm going to take him back because that was selfish of me. And then Luke's like, no, I don't want to train him. I'm whiny Luke. You know, because he's also whiny Luke.
No, you'll have to watch.
Okay.
I think some of that will be answered how
Ahsoka
Luke
trains
would
him
respond
instead.
in the documentary.
Hold on. We gotta.
Yes.
Whenever Drew's talking, there's such a delay. We need to let him just
I
talk.
keep forgetting he has a delay.
Yeah, we gotta.
Oh
just
no,
let it, okay.
and there's a delay. There's even a delay with y'all, so that's why I have like such long awkward pauses sometimes because I'm already
you're good.
so nervous about cutting people off. Anyways, what if Luke is whiny and says no because Luke does that sometimes, and then Ahsoka is like, "I'll train Grogu," and then through that in the Ahsoka show, we see Ahsoka with Grogu, and due to that being there, we see her and Luke's time together, possibly, and that's how she first,
But
well,
then
not as first introduced to Grogu, but I don't know.
But she already
Okay.
didn't. She already didn't want to train Grogu because of
Yeah,
past
but
things.
it could show Ahsoka's growth, maybe. I don't know.
I
I doubt
I
she
don't-
would, but it'd be kind of cool to see that cool character moment.
I feel like based off of watching the documentary and how they were talking about where Luke was, I could see him possibly taking Grogu back. But that's something you're gonna have to watch because they kind of go into that a little bit, Drew, about
Okay,
Luke.
good.
So
Yeah,
Thanks.
I just don't. I don't know. Some of these theories, some of it sounds kind of cool, but some of it doesn't sound. A lot of it just sounds like it's kind of out there. And I mean, look, the way they told the Book of Boba Fett is out there too, so it could very well happen. But I very much took everything happening in real time, and going forward, season 3 is going to be after season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to take place after this. They might have some flashbacks, but that's kind of what I'm
yeah,
envisioning. I don't know
it could be flashbacks for sure.
if I don't know why it makes no sense for me why they would go forward in time with that and then for season 3 backtrack and then cover that space.
Well, and I don't mean it has to be done in that way. I mean, it could be done I'm not saying that it's going to be done like it goes back in time. It could be through flashbacks. Like, I don't think I was specific enough in how I was explaining.
Okay, yeah, if they told it in flashbacks,
Yeah.
like a la Lost, that could be cool. You know, I have to bring up Lost at least once. Yeah, I think that's definitely like if we see some flashbacks or even like a whole episode that's a flashback.
And that's
great.
what I mean, I think, when I'm trying to say like they go
Yeah.
back and fill the gap. I don't mean necessarily that
Yeah.
it's weird like that, but I mean like maybe in the beginning it's a flashback and then it kind of puts that in that spot and then it continues.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At where we are with what has happened and me accepting that is the best option now to me. I don't know. I'm still thinking they did not draw this out enough. I really am like, why couldn't y'all just wait for the show? Why couldn't y'all just wait for The Mandalorian and like build that into either this season or the next?
I mean, maybe Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni just like got so excited they couldn't wait to show Luke, Grogu, and Ahsoka together. Maybe they saw an opportunity and they were like,
but if that's if that's the case, then that bothers me. Use self-control, you guys. like I feel like Dave has more self-restraint than that. They might have a plan. And I'm
sure they have
sitting back and watching what unfolds. But as of right now, and we have to wait until whenever season 3 of The Mandalorian comes out, I'm bummed that we saw the end of the Grogu with Luke arc already. Like, that kind of bugs me. It as of right now, I'm bugged about it.
Like Drew was saying, it might not be the end.
Yeah,
it took me out of the finale.
Yeah,
the finale with the King Kong Rancor and the Scorpion X droids and freaking Cad Bane and all this stuff. It took me out of it. I mean, I still really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I was sitting there like, Oh no, I was
Well-
done. I was just exciting, celebrating. Sorry, this delay's killing us, guys.
I
It's
did
tough.
love how Grogu did like saved Din by like calming the Rancor.
no, that
with
was
the
great.
Force.
Here's the thing: all of the stuff with Din and with Grogu was great. Like it was so good. Wait. Like we don't need it then. Drew's right. It took me out of the finale too, even though I mostly liked the finale.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff happened. And by the way, oh, never mind. I don't want to bring it up because that's part of there was part of Robert Rodriguez talks about that specific part, Jessica, when he lulls the Rancor to sleep. I love what he said and how he directed that. That was excellent. So Drew, whenever you get to that, you'll have to let us know. But
I'll be blowing up the group talking about it.
Yeah, do it. But all of that was good, but it did take me out that like, man, they really did end that quickly. And that episode was meant for Drew. Like that episode of television was literally made for Drew. And if it took him out of it. But man, here's the thing. Bottom line, there are frustrations I have with the show. I really did enjoy a lot of it. Episode 2 is one of my favorite Disney Plus episodes, period, of anything. It was so good. But again, story structure wise, and some of the choices made frustrate me. But again, here I am I love Jon Favreau and I love Dave Filoni and I'm trusting their vision here. I want to see how it plays out. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't kind of frustrated at some of the choices that were made.
Yeah.
So that's
I
kind of
get
where
it.
I'm
I
at.
totally get it. But that's not the only thing that came out today.
No, it's not. So we got a couple of things really quick. Did either one of you get to watch the Behind the Mac thing
Yes.
that came out? Drew, did you watch that?
Yeah. That was
How cool was
Yeah,
so
it made me-
for those of you who
That was
don't
awesome.
know for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Apple released a Behind the Mac, and apparently this is a series that they do. They do it with like music artists and like producers and stuff like that. They released this Skywalker sound it's called Behind the Mac, and basically it's just this like really short like 15-16 minute documentary about it's behind the scenes stuff on like sound engineers or Skywalker sound engineers talking about the origins of some of these sound effects that are in Star Wars and other movies that I keep saying Lucasfilm, that Skywalker sound has done. They've done everything, so many things that you can think of. All the Marvel movies, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, so many things. They have been a part of a lot of Pixar stuff, but they are obviously instrumental in the Star Wars sound effects. I'm not sure what's going on. Why is my screen not doing anything?
Believe it or not, I can actually see you in real time.
No,
right
y'all
now,
aren't
so-
frozen or anything, but my it's not doing anything that I'm telling it to do. That's really weird. It's happened once before. Anyway, I
It is
can't
my
see.
dream
I can't see.
to
Really
do
frustrated.
something at Skywalker Ranch or just go there.
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
but anyway, this was such a cool little thing because it was literally like 15-16 minutes of just these engineers nerding out about these sounds. That very first one, that lady.
I love that
she was
lady.
so
I'm like,
great.
I want to be her friend. Like,
She was
how
acting
giddy
like-
she was, and like, oh, I loved it.
She was acting like there are certain things as a musician, there are certain things that happen, and if I'm like talking to someone and I'm explaining something and I'm like, okay, now listen to this, and this is how this happens if you do this, and then you play this chord, and then what do you think about that? Isn't that cool? That's what she's acting like. She's completely nerding out about this thing that probably 95% of people would never even think about and nerd out about, but she cares about it so deeply. And like she would just go through the library, and she was going through the Skywalker sound library of sounds, and she was just like, I like to add this little sound anytime I can. It's so funny. Listen. and then she played it and she was like, see, isn't that hilarious? And we're like, not really, but I love that you think it's so funny.
I sensed the comedy when she put it in The Last Jedi with
With
Poe putting his foot
Yeah.
through that. I was like, okay, that's funny. That works.
That
I'm
was
gonna be
so
listening
good.
for that now.
That was so
The
good.
guy, the guy that I resonated the most with, was the guy that started playing the Jurassic Park roar. He's like, "Ooh, did that give you a tingle? Look at
Yeah.
that, haha."
I
That was so
heard
good.
that was. I've heard. I don't know if this is true. I haven't actually fact checked this, but that the dinosaur noises in Jurassic Park
Are
is
real.
a duck slowed down.
I don't
They're real
know.
dinosaurs.
I know it's a bunch of different things layered.
Yeah, I think part of it though is a duck quack, but like
Yeah.
majorly like slowed down.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the there was one Star Wars sound that you would never think one of the layers is like a cat. like a
Oh, well, the cougar.
It was
The
a
cougar.
cougar.
It's the TIE fighter, right?
I don't remember if it was. I think it was the sound of a ship, but I don't remember if it was a TIE fighter.
And
Either
then
way,
them doing the blasters was that wire. That was so cool.
Tension.
I
That tension
know
wire.
that was so cool. So there was a couple things about it that were frustrating. Only two things, and they're very minor. One of them's funny. One of them is expected. The expected one is that about a minute of it was totally just a Mac episode. I mean, or a Mac commercial,
Which is supposed to
which
be,
is expected.
basically.
And so it took me out of it because I was like, okay, well, I see what they're doing here. But not a big deal. They were just like, look at this room full of powerful Macs that powers this whole thing.
But see, I thought that was cool.
No, it is.
Like,
It is
as
interesting.
being someone who back in the day, like, not computers, like, I mean, it was like printers and copiers, but I sold business technology for a while out of college. Like, seeing the infrastructure of all those computers and just like the IT side of it and how all of that's connected to their final like editing room and stuff, that was so cool to me and didn't seem like a Mac commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know why to me, but it just didn't.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. For me, I was like, okay, well, here's where the Mac comes in. But other than that, it really, and it didn't even bother me. I was just like, oh, okay, so here's the commercial part. But I watched another one later. It was a music producer, and at one point we are in his studio, and like there were like 15 Macs just displayed like all over the place. I was like, this is just funny at this point. But the other thing that frustrated me, and it's more of a funny thing, there was one point where there was someone talking over. It was like narrating, and there was like music underneath it, and it was really cool. But on the screen, they showed one of the engineers worked like doing something with the pod race scene, and I was like, please play the pod race stuff, please show us how they did that. And they didn't even touch the pod race stuff. I was like,
feel like there's some that like Lucasfilms or whoever, Disney, probably had to okay all of that and was like, okay, you cannot show this, you can show this, you can't show what makes the sound, like,
right.
You know, like I think some of that was probably controlled a little bit, you know, for, you know, we don't want people to know how this was made or whatever.
Right. That might be, or they just are playing with us. Drew, what's up?
I know the hand raising's awkward, but it works, and it means I don't have a delay and cut anybody off. Two things. A, why was it black and white the whole time? I'm messing around. I know that was just an artsy fartsy Apple thing. It was very fun. I wasn't planning on watching it yet. I saved it to my watch later, and then I watched the whole thing. So that was awesome. Number two, you don't know where Curry would know what I was going with this if he were here. But at one point,
happy anniversary,
big,
Curry.
Turn it on its. Yes, happy anniversary to Curry. There was at one point, tipping on the side, cello, you got a bass. He had a big cello or a big thingy, and he was dragging the stick, whatever that thing's called. bow. Dragging a big stick across that string, and it was going like.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that is one of the techniques they used to create the original Godzilla roar in 1954.
Well, there you
They
go.
took this leather glove and they dipped it in tar and they let it harden and they took it and just rubbed it down the strings of this. They said it was a contrabass instrument or contrabass, whatever. And I looked it up and apparently it's just a kind of a cello thing. Contrabass. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm today, contrabass. That was controversial for me to mess that up. Boom, yes. And they took it and just rubbed it down the string and edited it. So that was like a completely like natural sound effect that they did, that created. It wasn't digital or like an animal noise that they squelched together and recorded. And so it made me think of that. I was like, ooh, Godzilla. So
that's so cool.
It was cool. I didn't plan on watching the whole thing this morning, but I did.
Another thing that I thought was really cool, because I don't know a whole lot about sound engineering and all of that, but that I never thought about them layering sounds to create a sound for something, just like you're like layering tracks for music for it to all come together. I never thought about them like saying, okay, we took this, and this, and then mashed it together, and that creates this new sound. Like I never ever thought about that. Just like, even though that's what you do to make music or different things, like you layer it, but I never thought about the sound being that way. Like that, I don't know.
No, it is really cool. It makes sense to, like, I've always kind of known, just because I think, well, first of all, I've seen some of these type of things before, like Foley behind the scenes things like this. I eat them up. I love this stuff. But also as a musician, like if I were to show you some of the tracks that I've worked on with people and just like soloed each track, you'd be like, that's in there? Really? But when you hear it all together, it's just this one beautiful massive thing. But if you solo each thing, you're like, interesting, that like that on its own plus that on its own plus that on its own makes that.
which I've thought about in the music sense, and then also like adding your dialogue and music and sound together to create, your final product. But I guess I don't know why, but my mind just has never thought about layering sounds to create a sound. That just was cool to me.
That is cool. And it's something I love about music. I like isolated tracks of like songs I like, where it's like guitar and bass only, or like isolated vocal and guitar tracks. Those are fun.
Yeah.
It's like lasagna.
You know what? The food, I laughed at it, and then I was like, wait, that actually does make sense. It actually totally works.
Hey, if I use a food analogy, it's going to be real, okay?
An onion, there's layers.
What about a parfait?
Parfait is the best food on the whole damn planet.
a certain Shrek of view.
Oh my gosh.
And something else came out today.
What would that be, Jessica?
Another Kenobi trailer.
Okay, so I actually got to, like, I woke up and this what had just released. Well, maybe it didn't just release, but I woke up and saw that it released. And so I was like, what a way to start the day. They didn't wait till midday or anything. So that was cool. Yeah. Okay. So I want to ask y'all first. Jess, we'll go with you. What did you think of this trailer? Did you think it was, this was the official trailer. The last one was more of a teaser. What did you think of it compared to the last one? Did it get you more hyped? Are you the same amount of hyped? Are you done with trailers? Do you need anything else? How are you feeling about this show and this trailer?
Well, from the beginning, I said I didn't even need a trailer.
Well, right. But
and I still stand true to that, because this is just so hyped that like I'm fine not even knowing. I don't even care I care what they do, but you know what I mean? I'm just like, it's gonna be so good. Like, I just want to see it, and, but I'm just as excited. Like, getting little glimpses of Vader obviously makes it more real, like it's coming soon, So that was really cool. I liked all the dialogue that they had with oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her
Owen.
name. That one Inquisitor. Well, that I'm talking about the Inquisitor.
Reva.
Yes, that's like talking a lot in that trailer. I love that. I'd like to know.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I want to know more of her story because, like, most of the Inquisitors, isn't it like in? I don't know if it's like canon, but that some of them were Jedi that like they brought over to the dark side. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll let Drew answer this one.
Yeah.
One I know of specifically is Jedi Fallen Order. I can't remember which. There's like lots of different sisters, but at least one. It's kind of a plot twist in the game. Am I allowed to spoil that?
Yeah.
I mean, how long has it been out?
We're talking about the Book of Boba Fett, which is way
one of the main side characters, Sierra. One of the Inquisitors turns out to be her former apprentice, and so there's like bad blood there, obviously, and so a few of them are, definitely former Jedi, but I know the Inquisitor program it was like fresh, force sensitive individuals, but the ones that were former Jedi, it seemed like they had even more like blood and incentive and hatred to go out and do the job of the Inquisitors rather than just like new recruits, basically. The Grand Inquisitor used to be a temple guard.
Right. And I was about to say, we learned that. So, that's what I figured. So, I don't know. Any girl character like that really sticks out, or female character, I'm just like, I want to know her story. So, now I'm really interested to be like, where is she from? What did she do? Was she a Padawan when, all this went down? Like, all that kind of stuff. So, it made me interested in the other character stories too that are coming out in the trailers. So
yeah, I agree. For me, this trailer was even better, like, because first of all, what I love is that they packed so much. This was only like a minute and a half long, something like that. They packed so much into it, but they didn't overstuff it, and they didn't give us too much. They just gave us they started with some things we'd already seen, and then they gave us some dialogue so you can hear some actual things that are being said. It wasn't just like, overdub or whatever, or narration. And then they also gave us the general idea of what this is about. So they're clearly, the Inquisitors are sending like all the bounty hunters after Obi-Wan and after Luke. And so wait, what? Did I do something wrong?
I just had a realization of a bounty hunter we're probably going to see in this. I'll save it. I promise. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. I thought I was like, wait, did I say something wrong? So, what I loved, a few things specifically that I loved. That moment where Owen and Obi-Wan are talking to each other, and Obi-Wan says, when the time comes, he has to be trained. And Owen says, like you trained his father. I was like, oh,
dun, dun,
dun.
Burn.
I cannot say enough how much I love the idea of this show kind of finally like getting, like, we saw at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan hands Luke as a baby to Owen, and there's no weirdness there. There's no angst between the two of them there. But in A New Hope, it's very clear that Owen does not trust Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he clearly has some hard feelings toward him. And it's like, why? And it's something that I never knew that I really wanted fleshed out until I realized, oh, they're going to do that in this show. And it's such a great idea. I love that idea. And seeing them just kind of a taste of that, I just am really excited about that. It really, really pumps me up. And then, okay, I want to know where you guys are with this now, because I know everyone's freaking out about the head shape of a person in this show. And okay, here's the thing. So for me, from day one, I've been like, who cares? As long as he embodies the spirit of the Grand Inquisitor, who cares what his head shape is? But in this trailer, that moment where he's like walking and like, hold on, I'm actually gonna do something really quick. While I'm pausing my part of the conversation, Drew, you look like you either have something to say about what I'm saying, or I know you had a thought about that bounty hunter.
Oh yeah. So I forget which comic book it was, but Obi-Wan once upon a time had a confrontation with Black Chrysanthemum. So
Ooh, yeah, that's right. I've heard about that.
Could have been a good reason for them to include him in the Book of Boba Fett to get people fresh on him. The moment with Owen in the trailer.
A long time too.
Yes, they do. They are very long lived. The head shape of the Grand Inquisitor is just like whatever to me. Could they have done better? Yeah, whatever. Cool. But at this one right here, this scene, he looks a little more normal in this scene that Michael's about to play here. Which, by the way, I don't want to like jinx it or like knock on wood or whatever, cross your fingers. But y'all are actually like, I'm in real time with the audio and video right now, so cool beans. But yeah, when he was walking, his head shape looked a little differently. The last one, it must have been that MySpace angle he was working because it just wasn't working for him.
Right here.
See, it looks a little better, right?
Look at that walk.
He doesn't look as round.
He looks just like, okay, for me,
stay hidden.
He just looks like a badass. Like he just like I don't care.
By the way,
I don't care what his head shape is. He just looks he looks menacing, and he is embodying some kind of he is evil. I feel
Sith swagger.
I feel the swag, and I don't know. So to me, I saw some of that coming up again today. And I just was like, even after seeing, like, for me, seeing this walk kind of even changed me even a little more. I'm like, man, I didn't care about it at first. Now I'm like, I flat out love how this guy looks. I think he looks awesome. Jess, what do you think about it?
It doesn't really bother me that much anymore. What made me really think about it, you bringing this up, is that, so Jonathan really hasn't watched any of the Clone Wars with me. And I watched 3 episodes of the Clone Wars today, and he was like doing stuff in the room, so kind of paying attention, and Count Dooku came on there, and he goes, whoa. That guy's face is too long even for animation.
It was.
And so really like it makes me just think about the whole like animation to live action. Like, it's not going to be the same. Like, and we just need to be fine with the fact that, if we saw him like this first and then saw him in animation like that, maybe we'd be like, whoa, his head's too long. Like, I mean, I know we saw him in the prequels, that same race, and they did look a little different, but this guy's going to have more movement. Like, it's the same thing with like Ahsoka. I had to get it over too, and it's just, it is what it is, and I love Ahsoka being in live action, so I don't really care about that either. So
yeah. Drew, what's up? Drew.
Oh, sorry. No, it froze up like hardcore there, like the whole screen. Oh my gosh.
Like this for a solid.
You were literally just like, I was like, Drew, what's up? And you're like,
not only was I frozen, but I was also holding very still.
You really were. I actually was like, wait, is he frozen on our end? Okay, no, he just moved. Okay.
This goes to the point of character design versus good storytelling. They don't always go hand in hand, and a good character design is not important for a good story. Let me say this. You know how critical I am of the usage in Black Widow of Taskmaster. Black Widow, in the movie Black Widow, Taskmaster was like probably the most comic accurate design they've ever had for like the villain or whatever going on, nearly. Or maybe not the most, but he was like perfect. And then the movie was like, as far as Taskmaster, in my opinion, but that's a different discussion for a different day. So to me, the Grand Inquisitor doesn't look regular, but he has a good story, then cool beans. It's also probably hard to cast someone who's got a head shaped like that. Just my personal opinion. I'm not seeing but like probably 3 people in all the world who look like that. So
And
Well,
you
okay.
It would've
also
been tough
don't
to
want
get somebody
people to
with a-
be like, oh, they look like eggheads, you know, too. So
Well, okay,
Grand
so
Inquisitor.
Drew, I think I like, and I want to clarify something that you said. I think that you would agree that good character design is important, correct?
It is.
But
It is,
what
yes.
you're saying is there have been things where the character design was amazing, but the execution of that character and their story was lackluster. But there have also been things where the
Yes.
character design might have been lesser than, but the story was amazing, so no one cared. So I
Yeah,
think
so it's going to be a wait and see for me on
Yeah.
that. I won't be
And-
mad
and-
unless his character's whack.
and by the way, I disagree with the Taskmaster, but I actually love Black Widow. I think it's an extremely underrated MCU
I
movie.
really liked it too.
I liked it a lot.
I just want y'all to know
It's good,
that
don't get me wrong.
Zoe is clearly joining this chat.
Hey.
Every time I stop petting her head, aka Dobermans or Velcro dogs, she like nudges me like I want more.
That's great. Hey, really quick, Scott Tracy says, oh, I forgot. For some reason, that computer's frozen, so I'm using my laptop in here. But Scott Tracy says, Owen caught feelings for Luke, the old softy. Yeah, apparently, he was kind of, it was kind of, forced upon him, fatherhood, with Luke. But at the end of the day, Owen really cares for Luke, and he cares what's best for him. And I'm actually really excited to see this idea of Owen. We always saw Uncle Owen as like this crotchety old grump in A New Hope.
He is.
And he totally is, but he cares for Luke. The reason why he doesn't want him to pursue the path of the Jedi is because he knows what happened to his father, and he knows that Obi-Wan was his father's master. And so I don't
he experienced Anakin's rage.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame him at all. But, he was totally an old grump, but I don't blame him for
He also was a
his
moisture
reasons.
farmer on Tatooine. I think that would make anyone an old grump too.
No kidding. And he still hasn't painted that darn roof
Yeah.
or a ceiling.
And I just want to point out one more thing, like with the characters. See, look at this. You see this? She's like
The dog.
Ugh.
So sweet.
Dobermans. I'm telling you, they are another breed. They're so loving. I love.
They are
my
a breed,
dog.
yes.
Don't nudge me. Or
Those eyes. Oh my gosh.
So Bonnie, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name, who plays the younger Aunt Beru.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with her story, like what she's personally been through, but
The
I'm really
actress?
Mhm.
No, I'm not. No.
So I'm very excited to see her back in something, in acting and getting back into things, because she got into the whole Nexium situation. And so that kind of ended her career because she was so involved in that. It was basically like a cult. I don't know if y'all watched any of that.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about. Sounds like
Oh.
something on Severance.
Yeah, it's interesting. You should look it up. But anyway, it was a whole thing that came out, and there was the leader's horrible. Everything was horrible. But anyway, she got caught up. A lot of some actors and actresses and different people in Hollywood did get caught up in that cult, and so to see her now out of that, and acting again is just, I don't know. I'm excited for her. I know this has to be exciting for her as well, because, she had such a small role initially, and maybe she'll get to do a little bit more in the show. And seeing so there's a documentary on HBO about it for anyone that's interested in learning more. But anyway, she's a very significant person in there that was that left and was kind of a whistleblower for the whole situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I had no idea.
Mhm.
Never would have known that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So it's cool just,
Yeah.
to see her getting her life back.
That's awesome. Good for her. That's everyone deserves a second chance.
Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine getting sucked into a cult and realizing like, what am I in? And then like,
Yeah, and what
Woo.
sucks is like she got out before her husband did. And so you'll have to watch it. It's just
Yeah.
it's really crazy. Like she got out before her husband did, and so like her whole story is just really incredible. And she's just a very brave human, and so and to share her story like she has. So I'm really proud of her from watching that. And then when this came out and they were saying that they were bringing them back to play, Owen and Beru, I was really excited.
So cool. Yeah, it's so good to see both of those actors back from the prequels. I think it was such a great call. Okay, so we have.
It's called The Vow. Sorry, that's what
okay. I've seen that actually.
Is that a
The
Nicholas Sparks
documentary
movie?
is called. So anyway,
Drew.
What did he say?
He said, "Isn't that a Nicholas Sparks?"
Oh no. Y'all should watch it if y'all want a crazy documentary to watch. Anyway.
Hold on. I want to play this part just because I want to see it.
These dogs.
Puppies.
Stop licking your sister.
Leave us alone. When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father.
Gosh.
Burn.
What a burn. Seriously, that's so good. So we have that, which I loved, and then we also have, we're seeing a bunch of bounty hunters coming after Obi-Wan. I love that Obi-Wan is using a blaster. She's so uncivilized here on Tatooine.
So uncivilized.
Yeah, right here he's going through. Okay, Reva. Okay, so her dialogue is awesome. It's so like passionate and like just like this. You can't escape him. Oh, that you can't run from him. You can't escape him. Like, and then they showed, and then Darth Vader. They didn't reveal his face. We know what his face looks like, but I love that they just revealed that front plate, and then they showed the arm going in. Then they revealed the front plate, and then you just cut away and hear him breathe, and that's all. Beautifully done. This trailer for me actually does have me even more excited than I was already. Like I genuinely am just like. This show keeps. I don't know how I can get more excited, and then I hear something like we didn't get to talk about this last time, guys, because me and Curry were on when the day that this happened. But the composer that they hired to do the show, did y'all hear about that?
No.
Okay. So okay, I'm breaking news to you guys. So did you guys both watch Loki?
Oh, yeah. Natalie Holt?
Natalie Holt, the person who did the music for Loki, is doing the score for this. And I think that, like, for me, first of all, what a great, fresh voice in music for Star Wars. Her music in Loki is one of the highlights of the show, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Based.
I am so excited. I still don't know how to use that term.
I don't think I do either. I just say it.
I still don't know how to. People say it. I'm like, yeah, based.
Oh yeah.
But I am so excited to hear her in Star Wars. I think it's such a great call, and how cool! Like we have our first like showrunner in Star Wars. She's directing all of these and running the show. And our first female composer in Star Wars. I think it's just such a cool idea, and I don't know. I'm just really excited about all of this. I think this show is just going to be. Here's what I'll say. If this show isn't good, I'm going to be absolutely inconsolable. I would
run away into the woods, and I'm never going to come back.
Yeah, I don't know how it
No.
could disappoint me that bad, but it really, like, if it's bad, I don't know how I will recover.
I didn't need the trailer today, but it absolutely blew my mind and, like you said, got me more excited for the show. And we've done a lot of speculating as to what the plot of the show would be, and I think this trailer today really solidified what the at least base structure of the show would be. Is the Inquisitors hunting Obi-Wan, and someone at one point says Obi-Wan's dead, he's gone, and they're like, no. So there's at least one, doubtful person that says we're wasting our time. We need to be hunting and doing other things,
Yeah.
and they just want to dump all these resources. And I'm sure he's like whacked a few bounty hunters or like Inquisitors, or I don't know, maybe they start with Inquisitors. That's not good. Let's send in some bounty hunters, or vice versa. And they're like, well, dadgummit, now we got to get Vader involved. We got to get the big man. We got to get the Grand Inquisitor involved. So Obi-Wan's just going to be just taking care of business all the time.
I'm so pumped, and I can't overstate how little I
Yes.
care about the shape of his head. I just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, if his trailer, if this character ends up being whack, then that's like one thing where you're like, not only does this character suck, but so does his head. Then we have reason to complain. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not gonna.
Right.
I'm not gonna worry.
Well,
about
that's my
one
thing. That's exactly my point. It's literally just, okay, let's just wait to see how the story goes. Like, people are freaking out over a shot in a trailer, and I'm like, you guys are freaking out over something you don't know the context of. And to me, also, it's like, I think that for me, there are practical, like, in my mind, I can think of several practical reasons why they made the choice that they did for this character. And, like, people always bring up, well, they did it in the prequels and it looked great. And it did look great. But that guy only had to, like, walk in a straight line slowly.
Thousands of battle droids.
I think, right. I think that from what I would imagine, that was kind of like a sculpt kind of thing, and that would be really tough to potentially move in. And I'm sure they took all of that into consideration. They don't just make these decisions like, spend less money on this, it's not important. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna do the best thing that they can do within the constraints of what they are in. And no, Obi-Wan doesn't have a movie budget, but it's got a good budget, and they will make everything look as good as possible. And the reasons why Ahsoka's montrals, or whatever they're called, the reason why those were shorter and they looked a little bit strange was because of practical action reasons. This has to be the same thing. I don't know why it wouldn't. And so for me, I am just like, I'm pretty sure that they have practical reasons for this. Maybe we'll know for sure with a Disney Gallery thing after the show comes out. But and even if it isn't, let me just see the story. I'm not going to make up my mind on a character design before I even see the story.
I'm all about the wait and see method. I wish more fans would get on board with that. Not saying we're superior, but I used to be overly critical of things before the fact, and then would catch myself constantly eating crow. And I was like, well, that's a sucky way to live, so I'll just wait and see. And life is much better that way. Do you think the show is going to possibly make helicopter lightsabers cool for you, or no?
Look, maybe.
We're going to wait and see.
Listen, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say let's wait and see. But I will say, I'd rather they didn't.
It at least looked really cool in the trailer where he was like interrogating the dude. It was like,
oh no, I've never had an issue with the spinning saber. That's cool. Like that's really dope. It's all about the flying. They fly now? And I don't even know they fly now. I don't even know why it bothers me so, but it does. And I just think it's it's hilarious to me, actually. But it is what it is. For me, I just need to wait and see. I just need to wait and see how all of this goes. And sorry, Jessica's back. There she is. Sorry, Jess.
Sorry.
I
have an old dog.
an old dog.
An old dog who's also on a lot of medications right now that have to do with his liver, so he has to pee a lot.
Aw.
Dogs on drugs.
Well, he just finished his antibiotics this morning. Not that y'all needed to know that, but anyway, he's doing better. So
wow, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
The more you know.
No, but what I was about to say was I was talking to someone before the Batman came out, and this might be a great transition actually. Because Jess just watched the Batman today.
I did.
But I was talking to someone who before the Batman came out, and they were like, I just don't like how the Riddler looks. I think he looks stupid. And I was like, you don't know the context that this was written in. You don't know why he looks like this. You don't know what they're writing him as in this movie. You don't know how that's going to go. And let's wait and see how the story unfolds. Let's wait and see the context of how he acts in the movie, and maybe it'll make sense. And so we watched the movie. Like, I watched the movie, he watched the movie. We came back like at some point a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "You were right. It was awesome." And I was like, "You don't make decisions on what you think of a costume based off of a shot in the trailer." Oh my gosh, he was so good. Okay, so really quick, any last thoughts really quick on the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer or any Star Wars things other than Chef's Kiss?
I'm just happy that it's Star Wars Day.
I am too. I've had a genuinely fantastic Star Wars Day.
And I'm so jealous of all the people that are at Star Wars night right now at Disney World in Disneyland. Like, I'm so jealous.
All those people can kick rocks. I'm so mad. Much rather be in.
And yes, I'm gonna watch everybody's story that's there because the lineup of characters and stuff just looked incredible. So man,
yeah, I would love to go to something like that or Celebration. One of those.
I will tell you guys, if y'all ever do go to Disney World or anything, and they do have a Disney night, regardless of what it is, even though it's like kind of the same price as a ticket for the day, do it because there are significantly less. It's like crazy amount, like less people. So we did it at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom was so great that we did it because we rode Pandora 6 times in a row with no wait.
Whoa, sweet.
And during the day, the wait is like 6 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So so a Star Wars night though is just like so cool, and they spread it out over all the different parks. So like different characters are in different areas of the parks instead of it just being at Galaxy's Edge.
So cool.
It's just really neat. So yeah.
One day.
Question. Can you do that just inverse where like there's like people meeting like, oh, it's a special Cinderella and Mickey and Goofy Day, and I'm just like, heck off those guys. I want to go to Star Wars while there's nobody there. That's probably not the case, but is it?
No, so it's like the park hours, they close at a certain time after the fireworks, and so this allows you to stay after. It's like Disney After Dark basically, but they're doing a special like Star Wars night version. And
Disney After Dark.
Yeah, and it's actually really cool because like with the ticket you also get all free drinks and free snacks the whole time. Wow. So we were like, one of our friends had a backpack with her, and we were like loading her down with water. Which later we were like, why did we do this? Like we had bought a meal plan, so we were like, we can get drinks, but it was great because we had plenty of water for the rest of the week. We like, she was like, I feel like a pack mule, and she like kept going and like riding Pandora, and then we'd get a popsicle, and then we'd ride Pandora, and then we'd get a popsicle.
That's amazing. Wait, H2 says, I'm just lurking, no talk because I lost my mouth. Drew, is there some sort of context here that I don't understand?
He posted something in Discord earlier about something with his mouth. I don't remember. I'm just glad he's not blocked anymore.
I know. It's so good to have H2 back.
We have come so far.
We've come so far.
Y'all are never gonna let me
Galaxy's
hit.
Edge so
Y'all are never
bad.
gonna let me live that down, are you?
No,
didn't mean
probably
to.
not.
Oh
It
my
was an
gosh!
accident. There was like 8 bots in the chat that night. They just happened to be right beside each other.
And they were
you know?
like, they were putting like sex stuff in there. I was like,
Yeah,
get out of here! And then I don't know what
little
happened.
horny Russian
Man, we're
bots. Get
gonna
out
have
of
to
here.
bleep out Michael this episode to keep our clean rating on.
I'm not allowed to say
He
sex.
said the S word.
I don't know. I know that the TikToks doesn't like it.
the TikToks.
Tic-tac-toe.
Okay, really quick. I do have one thing I want to show y'all that I got today. I treated myself a little bit.
Ooh, that's a fun build.
I can't wait.
Nice.
But I'm a little peeved because if you look here, they ruined my childhood. Because they called it Boba Fett Starship instead of Slave One. So
did that really
they
ruin
actually
your
do
childhood,
that-
Michael?
My
Are you gonna be
childhood
one of
is-
those
do that.
people?
I'm like,
I know my childhood is ruined because they didn't put Slave One on the box, guys. I'm absolutely livid.
listen
I'm being
here,
sarcastic.
I know. I was going to say, you can't tell he's being sarcastic. He's being sarcastic.
I like this chip's name. Don't get me wrong. I hope they don't change it. But they never put the only ship that has its actual name in Lego is the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
the Havoc Marauder from the Bad Batch. It's called the Bad Batch Shuttle.
The Bad Batch shuttle. Yeah, exactly. There's like all of them are like that.
The Guardians
Except for
of the
the Millennium
Galaxy
Falcon.
ship. Yeah.
Yep.
That Lego said today. The Guardians of the Galaxy ship. It's called the Milano. You save money on ink by putting the Milano, but they always put just generic things like that. But
Right.
whatever.
Right. Well, they put it more descriptive because people aren't going to know, like the general audience isn't going to know the Milano. They're going to know, or the general audience isn't going to know Slave One. They're going to know, oh, okay, that's Boba Fett's ship. They're going to know that.
Yeah.
So
especially
if they
they're
read
browsing
that.
online or something like that.
And that's who they're marketing to. They're like, they build this for everyone, but they have to market to the mass audience. You know, they have to market to
Children.
everyone, not just to children, not just to super fans. And so, yeah, my childhood's not ruined. I'm totally kidding. I just saw that and I was like, that's funny.
Oh no, Michael's a dude
Quick
bro
note
now.
for you: it comes with a little.
I guess I'm a dude bro
it
now.
comes with a little display thing.
If you were,
It
I
has
don't
a
think
little
you'd have a
display
girl on
piece
your
with it, Michael.
podcast.
A little what?
Oh no, Jessica's right. If you're a dude, bro, Jessica wouldn't be here because we'd be.
It's
sexist
true.
dudes.
Yeah, Jessica would not want to be a part of this. What are you talking about that it has display wise, Drew?
So normally, like it would just like lay down flat. So like the wings, like actually like when it's laying down, the wings are flat. When you pick it up, the wings, when you build them, they're built to rotate, and it has this little piece on the back of it. It's one of the things you'll build, and you'll be like, "What the heck is this for?" It's where you can like hold it and like fly it around the room or whatever. Or it comes with a little piece where you can like display it where the ship is like standing up and it looks like it's flying.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I got paid a little extra money today because because every now and then Josh and I, my brother, we recorded some songs a while back for like specifically to be used for music licensing. I got paid a little extra money today. Like sometimes Josh will just send me like, hey, we got paid for someone licensed our song. So I got a little extra money today and I was like, I want to treat myself to something Star Wars.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm super pumped. Really quick before we move on, I do want to talk about the Batman for at least a few minutes because Jess watched it and Drew and I got to watch this together actually. And I know we're
Y'all
a Star.
all watched it together without me.
We did. I tried to get you to come.
I know.
Really quick, H2 says the real reason is because I'm dying in Battlefront 2 and trying to win. Well, at least you're honest. That's hilarious. Again, glad you're here, dude. So, where was I going? I was just doing something else. I said before we get into Batman. What was I gonna say, y'all? I've lost my train of thought. All right,
I've heard
whatever.
nothing but Transformers noises for the past 45 seconds, so don't ask me.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Jessica, you just watched the Batman today. I have been like this podcast has never really spent a whole lot of time talking about, DC stuff or Marvel stuff, not a whole lot of time. But I'm actually really curious, and I'd love to talk about just our general thoughts on the movie because we haven't really discussed it on here at all. And so, what'd you think of the movie?
I liked it.
Cool. So what were your expectations going in, and did it meet them? What did you like? What did you like about
I went in with
it?
no expectations, and I did think it was a little long, but it was really good.
Yeah.
I wasn't like disappointed, and I wasn't just like completely blown away, but I thought it was a great movie. The score is amazing. The casting is on point. Costumes are great. Acting is all fantastic. Everything about the movie is wonderful.
Yeah. I absolutely adore this movie. I really did think that, going in, the marketing for this movie was so good. Like, it had my expectations through the roof, honestly. I knew from the announcement, I'm not like some know-it-all, but I do really think from the announcement of Robert Pattinson, I was 100% on the train of, y'all don't know, this guy has been working his butt off in these indie movies, and he's really good. He's not Twilight boy. Like, he's not just that guy from Twilight anymore. He is I almost just completely ruined what I just said. I almost said he is Edward Pattinson.
Cedric Diggory, dadgummit.
No, he is Robert
Jonathan
Pattinson.
is sound asleep, but I wish he was here to talk about this actually, because like Batman is one of his favorite. I think it's his favorite DC.
Okay.
And he really likes DC. And if I had to pick, I would probably pick Marvel just because it's a little bit more like happy. I don't know.
I mean, half the universe was obliterated, but
yeah,
whatever.
but they still came back and fixed everything. I don't know, but I really liked this Batman. I liked how it was shot. I liked Robert Pattinson as Batman. Loved Andy Serkis in it. And oh my gosh, the guy that plays, he's in Westworld. Jonathan and I love Westworld. So him being sorry, Scott.
Was it the guy who played Commissioner Gordon?
Yes, Gordon. Yes, he is such a
he was
great
awesome.
actor. He is so good in Westworld.
He is amazing in Westworld.
He's so good. And
yeah. Hey, really quick, Scott says, "What the hell did I just walk in on? Twilight talk on a Star Wars stream?" No, and Scott says the name Jeffrey Wright. First of all, Scott, we've been talking about Star Wars for an hour and 20 minutes. You just so happened to hop in when we started talking about the Batman because Jessica just watched it today. So we haven't all gotten to talk about it. But and he said his name is Jeffrey Wright. That's the actor's name. Yeah. Jeffrey Wright's amazing.
Definitely not Jeffrey wrong.
He good Lord. Oh my gosh, Drew. But he also does the voice of the Watcher on What If.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, he's got an amazing voice.
Yes.
I loved this movie so much. I really thought that, I think a lot of times some of the stuff that I saw that people were frustrated with was like Batman kept taking hits and he was like he wasn't great at everything yet. And I was like, yeah, that's on purpose. It's year 2.
Yeah,
it's the
second
year.
Like a younger Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
too.
it's a younger Batman who just started a year ago, and he's literally in year 2, and he doesn't know how to work that squirrel flying thing yet very well.
He doesn't have all the cool gadgets yet.
And and another thing is people were like, I just didn't think he did great as Bruce Wayne, and there wasn't much of Bruce Wayne. I was like, yeah, because first of all, I thought he was good as Bruce Wayne for the little bit of time, but he hasn't figured out that this is the second year of him doing this. He hasn't figured out the importance of him being equally equally Bruce Wayne and the Batman. Like, he hasn't figured out the importance of him being able to play that side of himself. And so that's the mask he has to learn to use next, right? Because that's not how he feels. Right now he doesn't care about that. And it's very clear in the movie. And so for me, I expect in the next one, maybe we'll start to see him be a little more, like, start to get more to that Bruce Wayne that we're used to. And him seeing the importance of that. But right now he doesn't care. Like, that's not something that he's really trying to just figure out this Batman thing. And so it makes total sense to me. A lot of that stuff was extremely intentional. And I thought this movie was just like, everything about this movie was like a singular vision. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But like which most people I've talked to at least like it. I'm not saying a lot of people are dissonant, but I really think when you watch this movie, there really does seem to be a singular vision between marketing and like the filming of it, the cinematography, the direction, the composing of the music, all of it just seemed to work together as this one singular vision. And I walked away feeling like he made the movie that he was trying to make. Like, that's the movie that he wanted to make, truly 100%. And I really loved that. And I do understand why people might have thought it was too long. I never felt that. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, I never felt any length of
that's
time.
Also going to be the difference watching it in theaters versus watching it at your house.
The distractions abound at home.
Yeah. So, and you know, it's one of those things where congrats.
Yeah, it was just last week, I believe.
That's awesome.
2 weeks ago. Something like that. Sorry, Scott.
Scott's like, listen. I have a newborn.
He's amazing.
That can be your excuse for everything.
And hey, Scott, it is an excuse, and you should use it for everything.
But I loved I'm probably going to say it wrong. Is it sepia or sepia? Jonathan and I had a discussion about that. But
it's sepia.
Sepia? Really? I don't know.
Sophia?
No, I have no idea. Anyway, actually, Scott might know this. Actually, Scott, is it sepia?
I don't know. I said one thing, Jonathan said the other. But anyway, the tones of the movie, I noticed. The
color grading and stuff like that.
And it's like warmer toned. And so I really kind of enjoyed that. And I think they did that in a very stylish way. Like, it didn't feel like 2007 filter for something that we put on, like in high school.
Instagram filter.
Yeah, like it, like, and I'm going way back to like, the different like stuff in iPhoto where you had like photo booth, and we used that in high school all the time. And, it's just one of those things, or in college or whatever. It had that warm vibe, but it wasn't overly done to where it seemed too much. And Jonathan and I were talking about how in a lot of movies, the blue tone is so much more favored. And I know even like for social media, there's been a lot about like your pictures should have more of a blue tone to it. You'll get more likes and more interactions and that type of thing. And so it's just really interesting that to see someone make that choice in the cinematography and say, no, we're going to go with this. And I think they did it so well. But I'm interested to see like how it plays out versus like other movies that have come out during this time that have more of the blue tone to it. So the cool tones. So.
Yeah. Drew, do you have any thoughts on on this movie?
Dun 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 dun. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. I had to shout that out first.
Yeah,
You know, I always
it's
have
so
my
good.
little flare displayed here. I'm gonna put those away because they're distracting me. That was
Well, that's what
such
I
a
said in the
cool.
message. I was like, this soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was one of my absolute favorite all-time movie-going experiences because of seeing it with Michael and Josh and Curry. That was really fun.
It was so much fun.
Especially the circumstances surrounding it and the random trip to Wendy's. That was incredible.
Oh God.
It was like we kept doing this like every 5 minutes of the
I
movie.
think y'all need to tell everybody the story. So this is the weekend that we all got together and we recorded live together on a Saturday. And we had like a whole day. The guys went and saw a movie that night. I drove down from Northwest Arkansas like later that night, so I didn't go to the movie. Tell them about the Wendy's.
I don't want to. Okay, here's the deal. So I had one job to do.
Oh gosh, I forgot that it had to do with that. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I did not mean to
what
throw
did you think this was
under the
about?
bus.
This is the cringy part. I don't know what you're referring to at Wendy's. So okay, we planned like a month in advance that we would go to this movie, and the tickets at least 2 or 3 weeks in advance. I can't remember exactly, but I bought it well in advance, and I was like, I ordered 4 tickets, and done, got them, good to go. Can't wait for this movie. We get to the theater, and okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. So at some point, no, I honestly this part is a little fuzzy in my brain. Bottom line, I bought tickets to Cinemark Conway and not Cinemark Little Rock. And
Explain to people like the time difference between like driving, like how
driving
far
wise,
away?
I mean, it would probably take us a good 30 to 40 minutes to get from we're there at the showtime. So there's no way we're making it to Conway on time. And so basically
And it's a Friday night, and there's probably still work traffic.
Right. And so what had happened was I apparently I had bought movie tickets to that Conway theater at one point, and my app must have just set its default on that Conway theater until I changed it back, and I didn't realize it. And so I bought these tickets thinking it was for Little Rock, and it wasn't. And so we got to the theater. They were like, "This isn't for this theater, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you." And I was like, "There's no more tickets for this showing, are there?" And they were like, "No." And so I don't remember. Drew, do you remember what time? So if I remember correctly, we wanted to go for the 7:00 or something like that.
We ended up getting 8:30.
We ended up getting 8:30 or 8:40. So
yeah.
We had to literally wait. And by the way, this just absolutely peeves me to no end. We had tickets to the XD showing. So like the best screen quality and audio quality at Cinemark, we had it. And for the Conway Theater, not for the Little Rock Theater. And there's only one of those. There's only one XD theater in Cinemark. So we missed that showing and had to go to the 8:40 regular screen showing, which the regular screens at the regular screens at this Cinemark are actually still really good, but it still, I was mad. And so we had to go to Wendy's. We were all like really hungry. We were gonna get food at the theater and go in and eat during the movie, but so we had like an hour and a half to kill. So we went to the Wendy's next door, and we just. I was just so mad the whole time, but I was so mad, and they just kept making fun of me. And you were still mad
the next day, and then the guy that hated The Last Jedi didn't really help any of that. It's just an angry Michael situation.
We don't need to talk about that guy. Yeah. So anyway, that's
name Hillard on the receipt for some reason at the Wendy's.
Hillard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they heard your name as Hillard.
Hillard. Hillard.
Hillard, like turd.
Yeah, I was like, what's up with that?
Anyway,
pretty
it was a
clear
great
with them.
it was a great night. It ended up being a great night, but it started off extremely
Sorry,
frustrating.
Michael. I thought there was also a funny story just at the Wendy's. I didn't
Nope.
realize Drew was just referring to the
Just-
whole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's the reason why the Wendy's trip is funny. Nothing
So
happened at
sorry.
Wendy's
The
other than
circumstances. of
other
it.
than other than them making fun of me.
I feel so bad. I'm like, tell the Wendy's story.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not really traumatized. I'm just mad. I'm even to this day I'm mad.
I've
Well, I
got
did
movie
that trying to get
garbage on
tickets, and
Kentucky.
I forgot that it wasn't Central Time. It was 10 a.m.
Yeah,
time
I've done that too.
of the venue that we were trying to go to, and I was so devastated because it was like my favorite band, and all my friends were gonna go, and we're gonna go later this year, but like the last album tour I went several times, and so I was gonna get to go a couple of times to see them, and now I'm only seeing them like once on this album tour, which is fine. I don't know why I'm
And who is
complaining.
this?
21 Pilots.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, had to text everybody and be like, sorry guys, I was an hour late getting on because I had set alarms. And I was like bragging about how I have like platinum fan status on Ticketmaster, and I got my code.
I literally
and
did all of these things
I
except the movie version. I did
Yes.
all of these things except it was the
Yes.
movie theater
Yeah.
version.
And I was like, I got on there and I was like, oh no.
And Curry doesn't have a good theater in his hometown, so I was like, and we're gonna have the XD showing so that Curry can watch it on a really good screen. And
Yeah,
I got our tickets early, and I got a discount on them, guys. So you only owe me this amount of money instead. And
Yeah, I was like, I've been to this arena to see them before. I'm gonna get tickets in this spot. I've got early access. I've got the code because it's like this whole thing they do to keep scalpers from getting the tickets. You have to like register, and then you get an email, and then if you're selected, you get a text, and then you get the code through the text and the time, and this whole process.
You
And I
gotta
was
meet a guy in a
like,
yellow poncho named Hank. It's crazy.
yeah. And I was like, it's okay, guys. I'm a platinum fan of theirs on Ticketmaster. I get early access. And then, I was an hour off because of time zones. So
Totally
that is
beefed
so
that
funny.
one.
That is seriously so
So
funny.
don't feel bad. You're not the only other people have done it too.
I know, but I'll tell you what. I bought a couple of movie tickets since then, and I have a panic attack
Yeah.
every time before. I quadruple check to make sure it's the right theater.
I'm like so nervous now. I think I've had other people buy my tickets for like concerts because
Wait.
I'm like, I don't want to mess it up.
H2 says movie tickets are $250 here. Where are you?
Yeah, Bratislava?
And he's watching Doctor Strange on Friday. Dude, I can't go till Saturday. Ugh.
I don't know
Actually,
when I'm going to be able to go.
I'm actually going with Josh.
I'll probably be going.
Nice.
If I go see it in theaters, I'll be going by myself because John.
I don't even know if I'm going to get to see it like next
going
week.
out in public.
I am so excited. You better stay off the internet for a while.
I know, the internet sucks.
It's going to be hard enough for me, like, just from, Thursday night to Saturday. Like, ooh. I am super pumped about this movie. I'm pumped about the MCU completely right now. I feel like a lot of people are like really fatigued or like annoyed at the MCU right now, but I'm like, I have at least liked every MCU show. I haven't loved them all, but I've really liked a couple of them, and I've loved a couple of them.
Yeah.
I really liked Black Widow. I loved Shang-Chi, and I
loved it. Jonathan
gosh.
loved it too. It was so
Shang-Chi
good.
is so good. And then I also the most divisive Marvel movie ever, Eternals. Spoiler alert,
Loved it.
I loved that one too. They are doing such different things right now in the MCU, and then Spider-Man No Way Home was just like perfect. Like, it wasn't perfect, but it was amazing.
Any of the new Spider-Man movies.
That's crazy. How have you not seen any of those? Drew, that's
They're
beautiful.
not on any of the streaming services that we pay for.
You can rent them for like $4.
Yeah, I know, but my husband's a banker, and he's like, we'll wait until it's on all these streaming services.
It's not going to be
Listen,
on one for a while.
I'm the cheapest person you know, and I rent them.
No, you're not. Trust me, Jonathan's got you beat.
Wow. That's really saying something.
Me and Jonathan are both cheap, like metal music and grilling delicious meats. So
Yes,
we are
that's
kindred
very true.
spirits.
Y'all are like should be friends. I don't know.
There you go.
Going
Except you like
back
going
to
out in public and crowds more than he does.
Yeah,
But-
I have no choice but to like crowds.
Yeah,
But-
with your job.
They make me money.
That's fair. But I'm super pumped for... I didn't mean to do that. That's really funny. Because you work in a fair.
I work in a fair. He
am- and-
owns it, man.
Yeah, man, I'm just off my game. I'm super pumped for Doctor Strange. I'm super pumped for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually maybe more excited for that than I am Doctor Strange. Like
Give me all of the Natalie Portman.
all of the Natalie Portman biceps. Like, good lord. And then like that last part of the trailer where he's like, where you look at, what do you say? You look at the ones you love, and then he slides into frame. Did you see the trailer?
I haven't yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay, never mind. I wonder. I'm scared to stream. So I want to watch it with you guys, but I'm scared to stream something that we're gonna get shut down. It's such a good trailer. You got to watch it. It's so good. But
You know what else was so good? The Batman.
It probably
Batman
came
was
out
great.
when I was busy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, during the day. So, okay. So let's see here. Oh my god! Just saw your comment.
Swing.
You're not supposed to say it.
I'm allowed to say
Lord.
swing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. So Scott Tracy says, I have never made that goof and I still have a panic attack every time I buy tickets. Dude, I'm telling you, man, it can happen to anyone.
Man, I was on such
I'm
a
so
roll
careful.
too, and I blew it with that concert, and now I'm terrified.
Oh my gosh, really am.
That's what I get
H2
for
said-
bragging about something that I'm good at, and I'm not good at. And I'm not saying this to be like rude to myself. There's only a few things that I am actually really good at. And getting tickets was one of those things.
Was one.
Was.
And now it's not. Now I'm not even good at that.
No, my life is over.
So ridiculous. It really, Jessica, I'm glad at least like you understand
I do.
my
and I
utter
was like-
frustration and like how the whole plan was ruined and it was my fault and it was my job.
I was freaking out because one of the guys had just announced that him and his wife are having another baby, and I was like, great, they're not going to do a second leg or a second tour. I've missed it. I'm not going to see them this album cycle. And I was like all stressed out and sad. And, you know, I pumped myself up to all my friends. They're going to have this fun trip. And yeah, so thank goodness they did another one, and I'm going on September. So it's all
Oh,
good.
good. Well, that's good. Good Lord. All right. So we've been going on for a while about definitely a lot of non-Star Wars things, but do y'all have
I'll bring
any?
us back.
Oh, what's that? This
It's
is
a
great for
Clone
our
Wars
audio.
puzzle.
Season
I
7
need
puzzle.
it.
This is
I
great
bought
for our
it.
audio listeners.
Drew
bought
is
it.
holding up a picture of a Clone Wars puzzle featuring
so cool.
Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth
Martez
Maul,
sisters, the
and
Bad
other
The Bad
people.
Batch.
It's the season 7, the Clone Wars art.
Yeah.
Holly saw it at Walmart tonight, and she was like, "Can we get this?" I was like, "Yeah."
I've
She's
got
really enjoying
No,
the Clone
honey.
Wars.
I've bought 2 Star Wars puzzles because Jonathan likes puzzles. I hate puzzles, but I love Star Wars. Therefore, I will do the puzzle.
What a
I have
what a
one you
what a
can have.
beautiful compromise.
Yeah.
That's marriage, folks.
We have a Rogue One puzzle that we've attempted to do 3 times, and we've put it back in the box because it's friggin' impossible. It's like 2,000 pieces. It's ridiculous. You would
I
have
got
it.
one that's pretty hard. I can't remember which one it is, but it's yeah. He was like, I didn't think it was gonna be this hard, so I got an easier one for this other one that I bought. I'm a Mandalorian one that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think we've been going on for a while. We should probably wrap it up here. Do y'all have any closing thoughts on anything we've talked about?
Nope. And the storm's about to hit me. I've held off so far. They're about to come. So this was perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Well,
And-
guys, thanks for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. Like I really, it wasn't a super structured episode. We just wanted to do something for May the 4th be with you for Star Wars Day. And we definitely had a lot of fun doing this. And thank you for joining us if you have been in the chat. So like Scott and H2 and other Scott and, we've had a few people in there. So thank you so much. And guys, if you are listening and you made it all the way through and you're listening to the audio version, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast. And if you haven't already, and please leave us a rating and review. Please. We would love that. I am at the point of begging at this point, but we would love that. Seriously. If you would do that, that'd be amazing. And
Drew needs to say please too. Maybe that'll get it.
Please.
H2 says not banned feels good, man. Oh gosh. I'm never going to live that down either. I really am not. And you know what? I deserve it. I deserve it all. I really do.
Michael was just like,
It was like, get out of here. Sex bots.
Yeah, it was so weird.
But yeah, so anyway, oh my gosh. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. By the way, follow our Instagram, our Twitter account, which by the way, our Twitter account reached 500 followers this week, which was crazy.
Whoa.
But 500. That's amazing because I really just started it within the last year. So follow us
off
on
my butt and get our Instagram going better.
I mean,
I know.
come on. No, so follow our Instagram, follow our Twitter account. We have a TikTok now.
Don't follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram, and then I can catch up to Michael.
Follow the Twitter too. And also follow our TikTok. All of this is down in the description below. And we have a YouTube channel. All of that is down below for sure. And so please do all that. And guys, thank you all for talking tonight. This was a lot of fun. And until next time, may the force be with you. Sorry, may the 4th be with you always.